Hi everyone, welcome to Our Two Cents. I'm your host, Clinton Smith. I am the CEO of GCES, and I'm here with our financial advisor and president, Galen Bargerstock. Galen, how's your day?
Doing great. How are you today?
I have no complaints.
Good.
I am grateful. After last week's episode, I am beyond grateful to be here and recording these episodes with you.
Just happy to be here. I get it.
Yeah. So today, everyone, we're going to be talking about the race towards retirement, and this is really coming from a personal thing, personal reason for us. You know what I mean? Over the last month, we have been incredibly busy at GCES. We moved to a new location. We are hiring new employees. We are growing. Our office is expanding. There's so much going on, but on top of all of those things, we're under construction at our old office. We're under construction at our new office. We're also under construction at our house. On top of that, because we're under construction at our house, we are also sleeping on our mattress on our floor in our laundry room, right?
It just makes sense, you know?
Then on top of that, our washer started leaking and is putting water where our mattress is.
Close to our mattress, yes, our expensive mattress that's on the floor right now, yeah. It's great.
So there are a slew of things happening in our life right now that has made it to the point where I want to talk about this today. We're talking about the race towards retirement because everyone in their life is having a race right now to get stuff done. Are you doing stuff at home? Do you want to get stuff done at work? We're constantly turning those wheels. Yeah. We're constantly doing more and more, but we never take the time to actually sit back and think, hey, my retirement is about a third of my lifetime. If I do it right, it could be more. Maybe I should put some effort into planning that.
Yeah, I mean, if you start planning now, you're going to have the retirement that you want, of course, but you're also, if you have a plan, you're going to have a little bit better of a mindset, and you are going to be able to smoothly go through all of these processes. So when life is hitting you hard and you're going through all those storms, you're going to do it with a smile on your face, and you're prepared through the entire situation.
Yeah. If you're having any issues with being grateful in your current situation, please watch our episode from last week where we talked all about being grateful. All of this stuff comes together somehow. All of it is related. And if you guys didn't know by now, we are not here just to talk about, how to be grateful and things in life, but we're here to talk about your finances, your retirement. What is it that you have that's going to pay you when you retire? Because ultimately that's what we do. But the pillars of GCS, the things that we believe in personally, is health, wealth, and happiness. Yeah. But everyone is constantly busy and running towards retirement while also juggling 1,000 things. Yeah. What are some common things that you hear people say when they're meeting with you of reasons they haven't done what they needed to do?
Oh, geez. So I think the biggest thing that I can understand but can't relate is children. So from what everybody tells me, children are very expensive. I see how expensive that they can be, time consuming. You're doing things for your children because naturally you want to provide for them instead of yourself, So, a lot of the times the household is circulated around a child, and it makes sense. That's life.
Honestly, if anyone calls us again and tells us they can't make an appointment because they have to take their kid to sports practice or to cheer competitions, that is so common where people are all worried about what are they going to do for their kids? Are they taking them to the extracurricular activities? When they're doing all this, they could spend 5 minutes to really look and check in on their retirement.
Yeah. I mean, the way that I look at it, because I see, as a person, what people are doing on social media and responding and reacting and stuff like that. And honestly, if you have 20 minutes to dedicate to TikTok or to Facebook or Twitter, whatever your social media app is, you have 20 minutes to think about retirement.
Yeah. Honestly, even if that 20 minutes is instead of scrolling TikTok, you go to our YouTube page and watch all of our past episodes, that is a much better way to prepare for your time. If you guys are interested in an appointment, it's really simple for you to give a call to our office. There's people standing by 24/7. The number is 888-391-3465. You can call them to schedule an appointment with Galen or one of our financial advisors. We do appointments in-home. We do them at our office headquartered in Indiana, Pennsylvania, and we also do them on Zoom. So that's really a lot of places. Literally anywhere you want to have an appointment, we'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, within reason.
So everyone's haphazardly preparing for retirement, but the sooner we meet, the better prepared we will be, is an understatement about retirement. Because I'm sure you meet with people constantly. Have you ever met someone that had everything done, that was completely ready?
No. I've met people, probably handfuls of people, that are prepared. But do they understand everything? No. I've never met one person that understood absolutely everything about how the process works, because there's just so many different pieces to the puzzle. And if you think you understand the financial part, and then you're like, oh, well, Medicare. And then you're like, well, what do I do? So there's always something that somebody needs to know a little bit more about. A couple know-it-alls, that thought they did but still didn't, but, normal.
Yeah. So don't get us wrong, too, by the way. It sounded like we were hating on kids earlier. Kids are amazing. I just don't want any of them. You guys can have them. But they are also a huge suck of resources for your retirement and time. Really think about the importance of your retirement. It is a third of your life. Would you rather work for longer or retire sooner and then spend time with your kids and grandchildren? Is really something that people don't really think about, I don't think.
The picture of your retirement and your future is literally whatever you want it to be. And I can't tell a person what they need to do for retirement. They already kind of know what they need to do. What I do is I sprinkle in the situations to make each little thing better, because you're already going to go through that stage. And children, they are expensive, but it's natural to want to provide to them, So it's very common that I hear, I didn't do this because of my children. I didn't do this because I had to buy this for them, to prepare them for the future. And that is 100% fine with me. You should spend your money how you see yourself needing to spend your money, the only reason I say that is because, like my grandma, for instance. My grandfather passed away when all of my, aunts and uncles were younger, and she had to raise them. She had to take over as, a woman back when women didn't have women's rights. So she was gardening, working at, jobs to provide. So that is completely fine if that's what you need to do. But if you have a little bit more that you can do something with, do a little bit more something with it, because if you put that money away for your child into an investment account, instead of giving them a little bit now, you could be giving them $50,000, $100,000 when they're in their 20s, So what's more impactful? It's hard to say. It's a different time.
Yeah. If you're sitting at home right now watching this and you're wondering, how do I get started? I don't even know where to begin. That is why we are here. We are here to help you understand all of those things that you have for your retirement. We can literally sit down with you and in 2 hours answer all of your questions and ease your worries that you have about retirement. We're going to take a break in just a moment, but in the meantime, there's a number on the screen, 888-391-3465. You can give it a call and schedule your appointment to meet with one of our financial advisors before we even come back from this commercial break. We'll see you in a second. To me, a successful retirement isn't measured by money or amount of dollars that people have. We measure it more on happiness.
If you haven't started your retirement journey, it's good to actually just take the first step. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to commit to anything if you don't want to, but just taking the first step of reaching out and finding out what you have and then going from there. You have to know what you have to know where you're going.
Start it sooner rather than later is probably the biggest thing that I would say to people. A lot of people want to wait until they're right at the edge of retirement, and there's not a lot that we can do for a client whenever you want to retire in 30 days. 5 to 10 years before retirement is a lot better. We can do a lot more for people.
The best advice that I can always give somebody is just take the first step and, reach out and ask questions. You're not going to know what to do or what to expect until you ask the questions, and it's non-judgment at our office, so ask away.
As people, we strive for better. From a better house, to a better career, to a better life for our kids. But when it comes to your retirement, what does better mean to you? Does that mean more income, a flexible lifestyle, or better solutions? A better retirement begins with a plan. To get your complimentary financial analysis, call the number you see here. Your retirement isn't going to plan itself, and this is your opportunity to plan better. Welcome back to Our Two Cents, everyone. I'm your host, Clinton Smith. I'm the CEO of GCES, and I'm here with our president and financial advisor, Galen Bargerstock. So I do want to sum up. By the way, I say CEO, that I'm the CEO. Really, that just means it's a small company and I do everything that no one else is willing to do or have someone to do. So we say CEO and president like it's fancy, but you and I started this company together. We've been so successful because we want to do what's right for people. Legally, you're a fiduciary, so you have to do what's right for people. And a lot of people need help understanding their finances and retirement, and we have the path to help lead them down to understanding what they're getting for retirement.
For sure.
So we're talking all about this being a race towards retirement. Everyone is so busy in your day-to-day lives. There's 1,000 things constantly coming at you, trying to steal your attention away from the lovely Galen and his magical time of retirement planning.
My wizardry in finance.
Your wizardry of finance, right? So let's talk about that, because a lot of people that are at home watching are probably saying to themselves, I am not ready. I don't know what I have. I don't know how much I'm paying for things. I haven't even created a budget. I just know that there's money in the bank and I'm happy about that. And I know I'm putting money away and that's great. But I have life insurance. I don't know how much. I don't know what I'm paying for. I don't know what kind of coverage I would have or what I would pass on to my family if something happened to me. And those are all important questions that you can accomplish with people in 2 hours or less.
Yeah, I mean, what you're explaining is pretty much what I do at an initial appointment. You know, all of the things that you said. Do I have enough money? What do I have for life insurance? You know, I'm gonna ask a ton of questions, 15, 20 minutes of questions just to get to know, just to get inside your head and, figure out what you have going on to where I could see that you need a little bit of guidance on. And it's okay if you don't know everything. A lot of people don't know how much money you're gonna get from Social Security. The biggest thing I can say to that is go to ssa.gov and create your own Social Security account. It is your account. You're going to use your Social Security number, your date of birth. It's your account that you have. You just haven't claimed it. So go on there. That's the first step, is go online and see what you're going to get from Social Security. And that'll save us about 15, 20 minutes at our appointment, because I'm going to figure it out anyways. But if you were prepared with it, even better.
Yeah. So guys, it is actually super easy. I never believed you that it was that easy, but you can literally go to ssa.gov and within like 5 minutes be into your own Social Security account. As long as you know your information and you remember all of your past addresses, you can get in there relatively easily and quickly and understand what you have for retirement. But I want to break that down too, because you said a lot of words just now, but when you're talking about your first appointment, it is the fact-finding stage. It's where Galen is going to come in and pick your brain and ask you questions about what you have. When it all comes down to it, what do you have? But it's what do you have that's going to pay you in retirement? Mostly is like the number one thing to break down, because people are interested in how much am I going to make?
Yeah, people, generally speaking, for the big majority, want to know what the monthly income is. How much am I going to be bringing in a month? Can I afford my bills? So that's kind of where I'm going to figure out how much you're going to get from a pension, if you have an old pension. These are all the questions that I'm going to get to figure out how much monthly income you are going to have into retirement. And then it is my job to figure out how much money you're going to lose from what you're currently making. And that kind of helps dictate in the investments what you actually need the investments to do, what they need to provide for you. And then we get into a whole lot of other stuff. But it's the basic core principle. I need to know what you have, what you're going to be making monthly, and a budget. I don't want you to actually make a budget. I'm not, requiring you to make a budget. But I would like to know how much money you plan on spending now. And maybe if the house is paid, how much do you plan on spending at retirement? What is your monthly need? What does that look like? And just establishing those pinpoints, on the A, B, C, where we're going, where we're heading, that's going to tell me what you need to do in order to make your life better.
Yeah. And Galen and I were talking about this earlier. A lot of people, we talk about budgets and we talk about expenses and the money that you're paying every month for stuff. But a lot of things, and I think that you've seen this, a lot of people think, oh, that is the bills I'm writing out, right? That is, my gas bill, my electric bill, water bill, cable bill, mortgage, credit cards, but I think one of the things that people should be more aware of, and I know that you've seen this with postal employees, VA employees, almost every federal employee, they have deductions on their paycheck, and they have no idea what any of them are going to. We've met people that were paying, $300 a paycheck for life insurance that they were going to cancel it. And they were paying that biweekly, and they were paying it for 2 years. We know this because they were 62. The price raised at age 60. Just having that cognizant of looking at it and looking at your paycheck, not like you can't change anything on there, because postal employees can change what their deductions are. You can change what health insurance plan you're in. You can change your federal employees group life insurance. But if you have deductions coming out of your paycheck, consider entering those into your budget, because you are still paying them every month. Just because they're a paycheck deducted doesn't mean that you're not actually still paying them.
Yeah, I mean, there's things that, we don't talk about, on the show that I'm looking out for that I already know that I keep in my back pocket. Some of the things are like disability insurance. Is there a place for it? Yes, for sure. If you're disabled, you need to be able to make your bills. But the problem that I have with disability policies or group disability policies is, yeah, you needed that when you were at the beginning of your career, but now here you are and you have 9 months of sick leave saved up. And you're paying $77 biweekly for a policy that, you could use your sick leave for. So that's part of the being mindful of what you have going on, knowing your deductions, because that $77 could be flipped into your investments, and now your money's making money for you, not that insurance company, because you already had the protection to be safe for 9 months if you were injured. So just little things like that, little tiny tweaks.
That is a great example of ways that we can help you save money, put money back in your pocket, and improve your retirement with literally a 45-minute to 2-hour meeting. Now, I know that is there's an hour and 15-minute difference there. It could take 45 minutes if you have no questions. If you have like 1,000 different policies and you bought something from every financial advisor you ever met, that might take a little bit longer. But roughly 45 minutes to 2 hours, you can sit down with Galen and you can leave that meeting, you can get up from that meeting and know that you're on the right track to retirement. And if you're not, we can help you get there. And everyone is so busy, you're constantly running. The benefit of having that first meeting with us is that from that point forward, we can help you out. We know when you're gonna need stuff. We will be willing to put those all in our systems, and we will give you a call when those things are happening.
Yeah, I mean, what you're talking about is different stages of life. And we actually had a show about, your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, where are you at? So depending on where I meet you in our first meeting depends on when our next meeting is. And I'm going to notate that in our computer system, and we will reach out to you again when your next step that you need needs to be taken. Because I like to be thorough.
Yeah. And believe me, this is totally judgment-free whenever we work with people. There's enough Botox in my face, you can't tell, but I am 41. And we literally just started preparing for retirement like 2 years ago, guys, and we do this for a living. So if you're not prepared, if you don't know anything about your retirement, do not feel like you are behind the ball or you're just never gonna make it. We can make those changes in 45 minutes to 2 hours. Correct. You just have to give a call, number on the screen right here, 888-391-3465. We're gonna take a quick break and we'll be back right after this. Galen actually was the one to get me into it. I worked in restaurants before this, and I really take a lot of that into what we do at GCES. We kind of run it similar to a restaurant. We want our clients to be happy and enjoy their time that they have with us and really take care of them to the best of our abilities. So restaurants led into this, and it was a really easy switch for me. The things that I enjoy about the financial world is honestly being able to take care of clients. A lot of times, whenever we first talk to them, they're a little bit apprehensive. People don't feel comfortable talking to strangers about their personal finances, and people are already kind of on guard at the beginning before we even meet with them. I like knowing that we give people peace of mind whenever our agents or our financial advisors meet with them, where they understand more of what they have, because a lot of people don't understand the things that they have. So really, whenever we work with clients, it's about building trust with them and them understanding that we understand what we're doing. And it's really all about us having knowledge. So when we work with clients, it's all about us educating them on the things that they have and helping them understand the things that they have in their retirement. And that ends up bringing the guard down and makes them a lot more comfortable, and actually a lot of times gives them a lot more of a positive outlook on the rest of their life and what retirement actually looks like for them. Man, I don't know if you guys get dialed into those commercials or not, but whoever that was just talking, man, is he handsome.
I love that we watch our commercials for the first time when we're doing the show and they put them in. It's always a surprise. I'm like, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah. If anybody wants to learn about our weight loss secrets, just go back to episode 1 and see how chubby we were. Right? We were chubby butterflies like a year ago. Put us on camera and we will lose weight.
Yeah, right.
So today we are talking about the race towards retirement. Everyone in the world is doing things constantly. We're constantly going to events. We're doing different things for other people. We're doing things for ourselves, taking care of our house, doing remodeling, going on vacation. There's 1,000 things constantly pulling you all in different directions. But all of it needs to come back because at some point in your life, you're going to want to retire.
Yeah.
I want to retire.
I do want to. I do, but I don't. So it's very touch and go with me because I like the conversations and I don't feel what I do as work. Yeah. Sometimes with the workload, if it gets too heavy, but I could have a casual conversation in my 70s.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the good thing about working with us too. A lot of our clients are, older than us. We're in our 40s and early 40s for me at least. And a lot of our clients are 55 plus, 65 plus. But that's the cool thing is that they all know that we're going to be there for them for the rest of their life and also be there for their children whenever they pass away. And we're very holistic in talking about that, whenever you become our client, we want to be there for you for the rest of your life. So we're not the kind of people that just show up and try to make a sale and bam, we're out. When we're there, we're going to do what's right for you and we're going to stay there with you through the rest of your life, because there are constantly little things. And that's what we were talking about before we took a break. When you sit down with someone, let's say that someone is 50, when's the next time you're going to want to talk to them?
It depends on what their employment is, but most likely probably 55, because if they're in group life insurance, that's about the age where the life insurance is going to get to a price where all the other life insurance companies in the nation are going to beat it. And that's, no matter what employer you're in, that's about the age where group life insurance becomes not unaffordable, it's just, you can do better.
Yeah. What's your most common, I need to call someone back because they became of a certain age? Like, what's your most common reminder that we're reminding ourselves or putting a task into our system to call people later?
Yeah, so 59 and a half, hands down, is the most important age that any person can have in their life financially, because at 59 and a half, you can take control. Not most of the time, some employers lock you in, but at 59 and a half, you can take control of your investments. And when you control your investments, you are in charge, you dictate what can be done, and it's just a much better scenario. Yeah. So 59 and a half for sure is the most important date.
Now, 59 and a half is related to your investments, right? Or your IRAs, because that is IRS law. That before the age of 59 and a half, you're not allowed to touch or transfer your investment funds, your IRAs, unless you leave your employer, you're 59 and a half, or you are retired. And it's 30 days after retirement.
Kind of. There's a lot more involved into it. But basically, if you try to withdraw money from your accounts before 59 and a half, you're going to have a 10% penalty unless you're disabled or some kind of special event. And at 59 and a half is when most employers, since you don't have a penalty, you're allowed to leave them and roll it into something else. So you can start rolling over into different products that you could get guarantees in. Things like annuities, things you could roll into securities, anything you want. The sky's the limit, but you get to control what you need to do. So when you're in control, that's your retirement. So hands down, 59 and a half is it.
Yeah. So if you're at home watching this and you recently turned 50, give a call to the number on the screen right here, 888-391-3465. We can set you up with an appointment to meet with Galen over Zoom. It's probably the quickest turnaround time to meet with him on Zoom. In that meeting, you're going to be able to go over everything that you have in your retirement, and you're going to be able to leave that understanding what you have.
Correct, yeah. I mean, to normally get an appointment with me, you are probably a month or two out if you want to sit down. But if you are calling the number on the screen to get an appointment, you're going to get me within a week or two, because we have set aside special time slots for me to meet with you just from this avenue. So definitely call and have the review.
One of the things that we think is simple, with all of your stuff with everyone being pulled in 1,000 different directions throughout their life, the biggest thing that this all comes back to is accepting the help of a professional. So, everyone is different. Some people don't want to go to the doctor. Some people don't want to go to the dentist. And almost everyone doesn't want to go visit their financial professional or financial advisor. But really, it's going to be over a third of your life. It's something that you owe it to yourself to do. If you're busy being pulled in 1,000 directions, make the effort to pull yourself into an appointment with a professional or a financial advisor. We're literally here to do that for you. You can call us, but if you don't want to, call somebody else. We don't care. It's going to help you out. But in the end, it's going to be able to have you actually understand the things that you have. And for us personally, when you do that with us, we're going to set up reminders that we will call you when you need to do something for the rest of your life. The only problem with that is that you actually have to answer the phone and call us back.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I get with, managing somebody's money, one of maybe the negatives somebody will tell me is, oh, well, I'm doing all of that myself. If the market, starts turning, I'm going to move something in and do that. And I'm like, well, that's great. And I'm happy that you are aware of, what to do and stuff like that. But is it an automatic level when it comes to us? Because once I know your risk tolerance, we have you in those accounts. If the market moves, we're moving. You're not going to miss anything. So, you don't have to ever take a financial advisor's advice or, hire us on, to help you with your retirement. But at the end of the day, it's knowledge that you can get for free, and you should definitely know everything. I mean, I'm a question person. So if I'm sitting there getting my hair cut, I'm asking 1,000 questions, So same thing, just with finance, ask away.
Yeah. And really, guys, we just want to remind you to be grateful for all of the things that you have in your life. Be happy for all of the things that you have. Our pillars of GCES starts with health, wealth, and happiness, and those are all intertwined. They all run together. Accepting the help of a professional and sticking to it is really something that we recommend that you do, because why go it alone? Your retirement is a huge portion of your life. You shouldn't DIY it yourself.
Yeah, it's the consistency. Once you get it set up, you're just going to be consistent with it, after you get over the fear, and life's going to move and you're going to move with it.
And with that note, guys, I want to leave you with something that has been, I think it's actually from my father, but it's called the 7 Ps. Practicing proper preparation prevents piss poor performance.
It does sound like something your dad would say.
It does sound something like my dad would say, but practicing proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. Guys, that applies to your retirement. Give us a call. Talk to you soon. See you next week.